I've been working with leading coaches, consultants, experts, and authors for years, the kind of people who really want to make a big difference. I've helped so many of them get highly visible, create big waves of leads and clients and cash flow while being totally true to who they really are. And we'll talk about why that's so important here in a minute. The key lies in knowing how to rock your talk. It's the secret to growing your visibility, your impact, and your income all at the same time. What does not work in this industry is being invisible in the market. So we definitely need you to stop hiding, because it's a terrible feeling to know you could be making a big difference but have no clients to help. Have no one reading your book or taking your workshop or going through your program, and we cannot have that. But if we put you in the spotlight, we also want to make sure you're not mimicking market leaders. It is a common misstep, and it's a great way to shoot yourself in the foot. You'll lose credibility, authority, and you'll lose the opportunity to create a true connection with your audience. And while there are many ways to help you stand out and get visible, the strategy we want to use has got to give you leverage, because if not, if the way we get you visible is time-consuming and draining, you'll end up burnt out, tired, sick, and unhappy, and everything will start to unravel at home and at work. I've seen it happen time and again in this industry. If you're going to have the kind of success that really lights you up and in turn lights up so many others, you need to combine your personality and your expertise in a way that serves people and sells them on the idea of working with you at the same time. So how do you do that? You rock your talk, baby. We're not talking about stuffy speeches or polished presentations, and we're not talking about making you something you're not. We're talking about your message and your uniqueness being the secret weapon to your business catching fire. I'm Kristen Thompson. It's important that you understand that your biggest secret weapon in your business is you. And as I mentioned in the previous videos, if you truly want to have a big impact and big income in today's market, you cannot follow the pack. You need to be a leader, and this means having your own message, your own voice, and your own platform. And that's why in video 2, we covered the brand personality blueprint. If you haven't seen that video yet, please go ahead, pause this video now and go watch it, because these videos are sequential, and what we cover here will make a lot more sense and will make a bigger impact on you and your business if you understand the blueprint first. And I promise I'll be right here waiting for you when you return. Now we're diving deeper in today's video as we dig into a very critical step. I'm going to help take you through the Rocking Talk template today, and there's a lot to it, and we could go into a lot more detail, but in order to keep this right sized and not overwhelm you, I'm going to focus in on some of the most important tips and best practices that I've learned over the years. And in fact, I'm going to start with a quick tip for you right now. Please know that you do not need to take this talk template and then write out your talk word for word. I repeat, for the love of all that is good on God's green earth, do not write your talk out word for word. Also, if there's a component I mentioned that kind of stumps you, you're not sure what you'd talk about in that section, do not freak out. It's all good in the hood, sister. Here's a little secret. If at first try your talk is missing a component, no one will ever know. So again, today's training, I hope, will open your eyes, show you how it's done, and get you excited. If you start getting into overwhelm, that's a sign you're taking it a little too far. Now that said, I want to share with you something really important. The talk structure I'm going to give you is the way, and it is strategic and well thought out. It has been tested. So it's important to follow it to the best of your ability. Don't start getting crazy and flipping and flopping the order of everything because you're in the mood to get creative. And I have my eye on you, creatives. As I said, this template has been created and road tested, meaning I did not pull it out of the sky. I have given hundreds of talks, I've spoken to thousands of people, and I have single-handedly generated over 7 figures with my talk. I don't know how to fix your car. I can barely carry a tune, but I do know how to help you make a bigger impact and a bigger income with your message. I've made all the mistakes imaginable that you could make already. I've tested them every which way but loose, so you, my friend, you can just cut to the chase and enjoy using a proven template. It's kind of like music. First, you need to learn the song, learn how to sing it or play it straight the way it was written, and then maybe you can kind of play with it, improvise, and make it your own. So stay with the template for now, and later, when your results are rock solid, then we can get creative. Now, here's the really great news about this template. It's kind of like a safety net. It keeps you on track, so that even if you don't do a perfect job delivering your talk, and listen, None of my talks are perfect, so you're in really good company. The template helps guide you so that great results can still happen. It's kind of like how an autopilot on a plane doesn't make the plane fly in a total literal straight line from takeoff to landing, but it does help the plane stay on track so that you end up exactly where you intended on going. So that's pretty great news, right? You can give a totally imperfect talk and still leave with leads and clients. You totally can. So you know that the goal is not to give a perfectly polished talk. In fact, I think in today's market, super staged talks with choreographed hand gestures can sometimes backfire and it can feel inauthentic to the audience. So if you were worried, you could now officially breathe a sigh of relief because perfection is not the goal. Connection is. So again, if for any reason you missed either or both of the first two videos, just use the links above, catch up, and I'll be here when you're ready. Remember that my goal is to help you do two really critical things. Put your personality together with your content, which is going to give you a secret weapon in growing your business. And it is a super rock and talk that will connect and convert. It generates impact and income. So in order to do that, I need to help you do two really important things: craft a rock and talk and know how to rock a room once you're up there. And that's why inside of this program, I'm giving you everything you need to do that. Rock your brand. That's your unique personality expressed in your business. Rock your system. That's your content organized, packaged, and amplified by your brand. Rock your talk. That's where we can craft your talk from the first moments on stage all the way through to your close. Rock your room. This is how you connect with your audience, create interaction, and increase your impact. And then rock your revenue. And this is how your talk can create leads and clients and cash flow. In video 1, you got the Rockin' Revenue Roadmap. And in this video, we talked about 3 different types of talks you can deliver to grow your impact and income. And I showed you several ways you could generate 6 figures from your talk, giving you a taste of how exactly we could rock your revenue with your talk. The roadmap for one-on-one coaching, the roadmap for workshops and events, and a roadmap for an online business. So we made sure you know that how you use your talk is totally up to you and the kind of business you want to run and where you want your business flowing. While many sharp business owners get stuck trying to figure out how they can be themselves and make an impact and make a living, now you can simply choose the way that works for you. And in video 2, I gave you the brand personality guide. And this way you don't need to get stuck wondering, why me? And you also don't need to mimic market leaders. You can actually be yourself in a way that allows you to stand out and connect with your peeps, those ideal leads and clients who really get you. So I asked myself if I could cover only one more thing, what would have the most impact on you? And it is most definitely module 3, rock your talk. So in this video, I'm going to give you the 9 elements to the Rock and Talk template because your talk is where this all comes together. First, let's talk about 3 common missteps you definitely want to avoid when it comes to crafting your talk. First, there's the winger. You're confident and comfortable on stage, which is great. And the downside is that sometimes your confidence tells you you don't need to plan. So you're kind of up there winging it. And the big problem with that is that you're inconsistent. Your content, the order you say things in, it's all inconsistent, so your closing ratio will be inconsistent, and accordingly, so will your audience experience. And we most definitely don't want you to damage your reputation with your talk. Problem number 2, if you're a winger, is that your talk is hard to follow. Without any structure to your talk, it's much more likely to confuse or overwhelm your audience. And the bad news here is that we all know a confused mind says no. And problem number 3 is you're going to go over time. And it's been tested and proven that a talk that goes over its allotted time will generate less business. So the less organized you are with your content, the more apt you'll be to tell kind of long and winding stories, go over time, and blammo, you're losing sales. The next misstep when crafting your talk happens if you're a teacher, meaning you love to teach and serve and you want everyone to learn a lot at your talk, and all of that is great. But the big problem here is with overwhelm. You are drowning in a pile of content. You want to give so much that you actually overwhelm yourself just trying to craft your talk, and you overwhelm your audience when you're delivering it. Because you teach, and then you teach, and then, you guessed it, you teach a little more. Problem number 2 is satiation, and that's a really fancy way of saying you can leave people with the impression that you just taught them everything they needed to know. So here people are not served at the highest level, and you're left with compliments on your very nice talk, but no new clients to speak of. The big problem here is that you and I both know there is much more to your topic and to your client's success than you could ever teach in a 1-hour talk. So your job is not to fill them with content, but to show them what's possible and what's next. And then lastly, there's the polisher, and this person will never give their talk because you'll want your talk to be perfect. And I'm gonna be bold here in an effort to serve you and say your talk will never be perfect. It will be perfectly imperfect, just as it's meant to be, meaning it'll be great. It'll impact lives, and it doesn't need to be perfect to do that. And striving for that will keep you stuck in your office. It will keep the people who need your help the most, it will keep them waiting in the dark. So please, please let go of the idea of perfection and know that it is not required to rock your talk. So now you know what not to do. Let's dive into what you can do to craft a rockin' talk. We're gonna start at the very beginning.